Good morning, everybody. I apologize I couldn't be here in person this morning, or I guess afternoon, where you all are. Pleasure to be here today to talk a little bit about our company and the emerging legal marijuana industry. So Canada had a historic day last week. We were the first G7 country to legalize adult use marijuana. And that's opening up a whole host of opportunities in the consumer packaged goods space and the medical space. HEXO has first and foremost been a medical marijuana company. We've been in business since August 2013, and we have just rejigged our business to really focus in on the adult use business. We focused in pretty hard on that for the last 12 months. And I'm very pleased to say that we've been executing very well. The first days of legalization are showing incredible consumer demand, and our teams are working around the clock to ensure that Canadians have access across the country to great HEXO products. Now, marijuana products is something that I want to talk about a little bit, and HEXO is a consumer packaged goods company. Although we started in the medical field, we believe that the large opportunity in cannabis and the opportunity that we will focus on is that of non-prescription channel goods. And that really includes anything in channels that are retail stores or pharmacies, but non-prescription. We believe that that's a more customer-centric approach, and we believe that in that way, we're able to bring really innovative products to customers. So HEXO has had quite a bit of success over the years in introducing non-smoked forms of cannabis. So I'll go through during the presentation and talk about our Elixir sublingual spray, our edible cannabis powders, and our partnership with Molson Coors, one of the largest beverage distributors across the world, in which we're planning on launching dealcoholized beers, sparkling waters, kombuchas, and other exciting drinks with all sorts of powered by HEXO formulations. In terms of investment highlights, HEXO holds currently about 35% of the Quebec market in Canada. And the Quebec market is the second most populous province. When we look at Canada as a whole, next year we're sitting anywhere between 12 and 15% market share. This provides a very interesting opportunity for investors because when we compare to other large players in the space, Canopy Growth Corp, for example, we're sitting at about a third to a half of their market share. So I believe the numbers that Bruce has been using is somewhere like 34%. What's interesting is we're currently trading at about a tenth of the valuation. So there's an interesting relative comp to look at there. Another thing to note is that there are some near-term catalysts, like a listing of the New York Stock Exchange that's coming very soon. We're excited to be able to participate with a broader range of investors. We've consistently been very strong at operational scalability throughout the years. So from our ability to charge more on a per gram basis, so north of $9.24 per gram, and our ability to control costs. So being able to produce this product as one of the leading low-cost producers in the country at about 88 cents per gram cash cost. Although those are impressive feats, we believe that the industry is changing very fast. I believe on a macro level, the cultivation of this product will get commoditized. What's really important for HEXO is to move up the value chain and to be able to create innovative IP-protected products in the beverage space, the cosmetic space, and also the food space. For that, we've established a model that we call the hub and spoke model. And at the core of that is that powered by HEXO promise, in which we're able to deliver cannabis technology, licensed cannabis infrastructure, distribution, and brands. And the goal is to be able to partner with different companies, Fortune 500 companies, in different food spaces and different verticals. And we've started through a partnership with Molson Coors on the beverage side. And so what we've done with Molson is we've established a joint venture in which HEXO receives 42.5% of the economics. So it was non-dilutive for investors. It's an exclusive deal around beverage where Molson Coors brings a whole host of base beverages to the table, while HEXO is bringing a host of cannabis experiences. When we think of cannabis, it's very important to look beyond the euphoria of THC, beyond the experience of getting high. It's important to look at cannabis as a host of experiences, which can include a calming effect. It can include diet uses when we start to look at the use of the molecule CBG, for example, and everything in between. So what HEXO is focused on is creating these proprietary formulations and experiences that can be delivered in a tasteless, odorless, shelf-stable concept with a partner that brings exciting beverage bases and exciting brands like Molson Coors. But we're not stopping there. So with Molson, we're planning on doing a national rollout of drinks in Canada in October 2019, expected legalization of edibles. We're also beyond that international. Beyond the drinks segment, though, we're looking at cosmetics, at other Fortune 500 partners there. We're looking at food, at both confectionery, baked goods, and also dairy. And eventually, we plan on also leveraging partners in the food space, so specifically the e-cigarette market. We will be cautious as how we handle that, given the reputational risk associated with tobacco. In terms of our Canadian market overview, HEXO is very well positioned. I've mentioned that we're capturing anywhere from 12 to 15% market share when we look at next year. Given the execution challenges around the giant demand that we're facing right now, HEXO is performing admirably. The teams are executing very well, and we look forward to being able to share initial sales numbers, which are very bullish, and we're excited to be able to put that out to the market. We are currently being distributed in all major markets in Canada, so access to 80% plus of the Canadian population. Core to that is our billion-dollar deal in the province of Quebec. So one of the things that HEXO was offering investors is revenue visibility. With a 5-year deal with a take-or-pay feature, the only take-or-pay feature in its existence in the cannabis industry for the first year, we can provide some of the highest revenue certainty in an industry which is still rife with speculation. Who will be the winners? That's a big question. We know that there's a common thesis in cannabis today that 5 years from now, we will see Fortune 500 companies emerge out of this business. And I believe the Canadian firms, including HEXO, are ideally positioned to achieve that. By being able to show that revenue certainty, at least in Canada, we can give a good base from which to start to build DCF models for investors so that you can come into our story. And then as we expand internationally, we can go beyond that. In terms of infrastructure to be able to accomplish that, in Canada, we're currently growing out of 310,000 square feet, producing 25 tons of cannabis a year. That number will increase significantly in December, so where we're onlining another 1 million square feet of greenhouse to go to 108 tons of production capacity annually. Now, that's both dry product and oils and extracted added value products, which are critical to this new cannabis industry when we look at advanced products beyond dried. In terms of innovation and our next products, I've mentioned a few exciting ones. We've actually been rewarded by the largest consumer group in Canada around cannabis, LIFCO, and last year when they did the best products in the industry, HEXO won both first and third prize. So for our Elixir sublingual spray, which addresses one of the key challenges in cannabis. How do you move to a healthier option? How do you take away the smoke? But also, how do you retain that fast onset? This is going to be critical in the future, especially as we start to look at beverage. With Elixir, we've already solved one of those issues. So it's the fastest acting product on the legal market today. It's a sublingual spray. It's already reactivated. It goes under the tongue. And it also solves the titration issue. So being able that every depression of the mechanism will give you about 2.5 milligrams of THC. So customers get a consistency experience, which we believe at HEXO is very important. We've also taken first place in those Lift Cannabis Awards with our Decar product, which is an edible cannabis powder, which is, again, solving that smoked product issue. We believe that over time, that the demand for cannabis products, advanced products that are non-smoked, will be about 70% of the total market demand. And so it's very important that we be a leader in that innovation, in the intellectual property, and the development of these products today. As we look to our distribution strategy, we started in Quebec. Today, we're Canada-wide. Next year, we're starting to add international legs. So HEXO has actually announced a partnership with the Greek company. And the importance of Greece is in the fact that it gives a regulatory keyhole through passporting for Eurozone product approvals. HEXO is not focused, unfortunately, on the German medical market, and I realize I'm presenting to a team of German investors today. We will leave that to some of our competitors. We are focused on the recreational adult use markets that we believe will open very shortly in the UK and France. And we believe that by having a partnership in Greece and existing installations in Eurozone countries, that will allow for passporting of our advanced products, and we will leverage the distribution platform partners like Molson Coors that are the second largest drinks distributor in the UK to achieve market dominance. We're doing all this from a very solid financial position. HEXO is currently sitting on about $250 million in cash. We are debt-free, and we believe in that responsible growth. And as we start to hit the positive cash flow shortly, we believe we'll be able to reinvest that and continue to build our brand. All this has been possible by having a great team that we built this on, and I'm very pleased every day to be able to interact with an amazing board of directors from people that sit on other boards of Fortune 500 companies, from medical doctors to lawyers, etc. And our operations team is very deep. And so it's been a key part of our growth. We're currently sitting at about 300 employees, and we plan on being north of 800 employees by the end of the year. So a very interesting growth story. I'd like to talk about our competitor comparison. I opened the conversation by stating that by market share, there's an arbitrage opportunity for investors to look at HEXO relative other valuations in the sector that have other market share. What I'd like to point out is that we are in the top 3 next year. If you give full credit to every cannabis company in Canada today for the contracts that they have in place, HEXO is top 3. If you look at the production capacity, we're in that second top tier grouping. So you can see up on that slide there, right next to Aphria and Tilray, kind of in a major producer and in one of those top groupings. Now, the opportunity for investors is if you look at the market caps, there's a significant discount right now at HEXO. And that's because I think our story has been relatively new. Originally, we were one of the later entrants into the market, so the 17th licensed producer. But we're very proud of our achievement to come up, and it looks like we will be 3rd by sales next year. And our goal is to be top 2 in Canada and to take 2% worldwide market share. The opportunity here is as we open up our European market, as we start to use that same passporting idea and move into Latin America, and off the back of the Farm Act and the States Act in the US, as we enter the United States, we believe that it's possible for the next 5 years to take 2% or more market share. If we were to achieve that in a $250 billion market, HEXO would become itself a Fortune 500 company and join our partners in other verticals. That's the opportunity that's here today for you. So thank you very much for listening to this presentation. Again, it's a pleasure to be able to be hosted at this conference, and I hope you enjoy yourself and you've learned a lot about our exciting industry. I look forward to any questions you might have.